Okay, so some of you had asked a question about when you are looking up cross-reference verses for the meaning of a word, how can you do that efficiently using studylight.org? So for example, in Romans Part 2, Lesson 14, we were looking up the word suffering, and we were cross-referencing other passages that use the same meaning of the word suffering as we found in Romans 5, 2, and 3. So I'm going to walk you through the steps. I'll do this slowly. I'm speaking slowly because I don't want to go too fast. I want you to understand what we're talking about. We're on the website called studylight.org. Okay, you can see it in the address window here, studylight.org. And if you go to pandabible.weebly.com, you can find studylight.org. There is a link there. And you're going to come right here where it says original language tools. Okay. I know from my notes that that's the Strong's number for that word suffering in Romans 5, 2, and 3 is 4912. So I'm going to type in the number 4912. I know that it's in the New Testament, so it's in the Greek, not Hebrew or Aramaic. Okay, and I'm going to click go. Okay, once I do that, if I scroll down, okay, the information you see here that is the Thayer's is actually the same information you would get on BibleStudyTools.com. If you're interested in hearing that word pronounced, you can actually click here and it will actually pronounce it for you. Okay, it tells you that it is a verb. It tells you what two words make up this word. And if you happen to be looking for equivalent words in the Hebrew, it shows you those words right here, but that's not why we're here today. Okay. In another video, I show you how to go through and look at these things down here for finding word meanings. But where we want to focus right now is right here. So if you'll look, it says in the King James Version, this word is used 12 times. And it lists Matthew, Luke, Acts, Corinthians, and Philippians. And it tells you how many occurrences in each of those chapters. Okay. You'll sometimes, in this case, they're the same between the versions for the Holman Contemporary Standard and for the NAS and for the KJV, they're the same. But sometimes you'll see that the different words are used, and there may be a longer list here. So what we're looking at is, are all of the places that this word suffering occurs in all of these passages the same use in our passage in Romans 5, 2, and 3? Well, it's very easy to go through and do this. Okay. For Matthew, it's simple. I'm going to click on Matthew, and it's going to show me the passage here. And I can actually read the passage. Okay. And this talks about those suffering with various diseases and pains, demoniacs, epileptics, paralytics, and he healed them. Okay. That's not necessarily talking about persecution, or as we talked about, something that presses on every side, but it could be. Okay. But it shows you the passage there. But look at Luke. If you look at Luke, it says there are 6 occurrences of this word suffering as used in Matthew 5, 2, and 3. So we can read the verse here. Now Simon's mother-in-law was suffering from a high fever. Okay. This word, this passage right here, suffering from a high fever, is the definition of a single Greek word. Okay. So suffering is part of the definition of that word. Okay. Notice in Luke 8:37, it doesn't say suffering, it says gripped. Okay. But it is the same Greek word, for they were gripped with fear. Okay. Crowding is a use down here in Luke 8:45. But you notice, instead of me having to select each verse, it just shows me each passage so that I can read it and go, yep, that's the same usage. Okay. If I look at Acts, it shows me covered, devoting himself completely. Okay. Afflicted. So you can actually go through and look at a word and look at all the passages and see if it's the same use without having to look all of the Bible verses up. Now, let me show you one that was a little different. Okay, and that is the word, what was that word? Endurance. Was it endurance? No, that's perseverance. So let me look. Let me type in the Strong's number here, and I can go. I can even go right here if I want to. Once I've searched, since this is in Greek, and I can go 3958. Okay, and I'm looking at the word posho. Okay, posho means to be affected or experience is what we're looking at. Okay, we're talking about suffering still, right? Yep. Okay, it's another meaning of the word suffering. Okay, not our meaning of the word suffering. But what I wanted to show you is if we come down here, look at all of the passages that are listed where this meaning of the word suffering is listed, and you'll notice that the KJV list is longer than the NAS list, and it's longer than the Holman Contemporary Standard Bibles list. Okay, and if you want to sit here and analyze it, you can figure out where it's different. Galatians, Philippians, First, Second Thessalonians, Timothy, Hebrews, First Peter, and I guess it's the same. I'm not sure why the list is bigger, but you'll notice there's a lot of passages here, even to the point with First Peter. There are 10 passages, but if I just click First Peter in 10, instead of me having to go to a Bible and look up every one of the passages, I can actually just scroll through the passages and see which ones I think or believe are the same use of the word suffering as I'm looking for. In this case, it's not, because this is a different word for suffering from another passage. Okay? For the ones that are one, it's pretty easy. If you look at Luke 6, here's Luke 6 again. Suffer, suffered. Okay, and this is talking about ailments and illness. Okay, so that's how you can use studylight.org and do cross references very quickly. Okay, here's Matthew 4.